Thanks for joining us here on Indivisible. I'm your host, John Stubbins, and we are coming live from CPAC 2023. I've got my good friend and amazing journalist, John Stubbins, on the show. Welcome, John.
Great
good
to be
see
with
you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We just had John on the show about a week ago, covering a lot of ground. And boy, did we cover a lot.
We did.
But John's got breaking news, and I want to get straight to it. John, let us know what's going on.
Yeah, listen, yesterday the Government Accountability Office, which is the nonpartisan investigative arm of Congress, said they had reviewed all the intelligence that had come into 10 law enforcement agencies, 10 federal law enforcement agencies. All of them had intelligence that there was going to be attacked on January 6th. None of them acted appropriately to prepare the Capitol for zero. This includes the FBI, the Park Police, the Capitol Police, Homeland Security Department, every major alphabet soup law enforcement agency you think of. They had specific intelligence that there was going to be an attack. And when I say specific, I mean there were people talking about penetrating the tunnels to confront lawmakers. There were people talking about going into the chamber. There were people talking about breaking windows, bringing guns. All of that was coming in starting on December 20th, so 3.5 weeks before the attack.
Wow.
Nobody reacted. It's 9/11, obviously a much different type of attack, but the intelligence values are very similar to what happened on 9/11.
That is crazy. You know, I'll tell you what's amazing, because I've been working with Peter Tickton, one of President Trump's attorneys, and we fed him a lot of information, including a lot of video, just in the last year on this January 6th thing. What's amazing, a lot of people don't even know this, and we came out with this report. On January 5th, there was a meeting with these Oath Keepers groups with law enforcement. And everybody came together in a peaceful way, making sure they went out of their way so that they could let everybody know this isn't going to get out of control. There isn't going to be any chaos. And boom, here we go. John's got the breaking news, and this is what we're dealing with. What's next? What do you foresee?
Well, listen, I think the Republicans have to follow through on what they said. So we did a lot of reporting last year at Just the News. We got about a half dozen Capitol Police whistleblowers to come forward. They gave us documents. GAO has authenticated those documents. It's in the public now. Republicans have to go in and address the thing that Chief Sund said to us. So Chief Sund was the police chief the day the attack occurred. His own people didn't tell him the intelligence. That's an amazing thing.
That's crazy.
You're the chief, your people don't tell you. He said two things to me. One, this was a preventable attack. It should matter to all of us. And two, the Capitol is no safer today than it was on January 5th, 2021. Congress has to go in. It's not about the politics anymore. It's not about settling scores. It's about making sure the home of Congress is safe from a future attack. We're not in that posture to protect it right now. That's what I hear from every person.
And here's the other question. How much of that responsibility falls on Nancy Pelosi's shoulders?
Very good question. So about a month and a half ago, we were able to get documents showing that Nancy Pelosi's staff actually edited the security plan that went into effect on January 6th, the inadequate security plan. It was Nancy Pelosi's staff that said we don't want the National Guard because it would be an eyesore. It would be bad optics. Optics is not a security term. It's a political term.
Oh, my gosh. Look,
Just as a question.
Yes.
Who did they say was going to do the attack?
They had direct intelligence about Proud Boys. Then they had direct intelligence about very specific individuals. Now, the names are redacted, so we don't know who they are, but I bet you we'll be able to match them up to current defendants. That means the very people that are in trouble now were on the radar of law enforcement before the attack happened. That is a massive failure of intelligence and security.
Absolutely.
It's not in dispute anymore.
Absolutely.
What about the people who went there just addressing their constitutional right to redress their government? They're fine, right?
Peaceful protest has always been fine. If you moved into the building, you go into a different territory.
Yeah.
You hit an officer, you've committed a crime. We
Right.
can't treat them any different than the people that committed the crimes in 2020 summer during the Black Lives Matter. But right now, the commensurate the punishments far exceed what we normally see people get for these type of crimes.
That's right.
We had a whistleblower not too long ago, Brian Friend. He left the FBI over the fact that he thought that civil liberties were being violated. He said something. I sat in the meetings for the January 6th investigations. The process was designed to be the punishment. If you were guilty or innocent, the process was going to punish you anyway. That's a powerful thing to hear from an FBI man.
Oh, yeah. And you're very interesting. John, you brought up the riots, 550 days of riots. Nobody's been held accountable.
No.
From BLM, from Antifa. And it just opens up this wound every time. And then you look at this CRT, this 1619 project, it just keeps reopening that same wound because people aren't being held accountable. And then over here, January 6th, they're getting excoriated. It's really driving people nuts out there.
It is.
And I get these questions constantly.
You do. No, listen, that's the big question. Have we created a dual system of justice? I think to a person now, anyone I talk to says, yes, we have. Now the question is, how do we reverse it? How do we get back to
How do we stop it?
Yeah, and I think the people that are on the Judiciary Committee, they have an obligation not just to expose things, but to get a solution in place, whatever that solution is. Yesterday I was with Kimberly Guilfoyle on her show, and along with Matt Whitaker, former acting attorney general.
Yes.
And one of the things we talked about, and I think it's a very important thing, people say, how did the FBI go from being very law enforcement oriented to being very political? The last 3 FBI directors did not come out of the FBI. You know where they came from? The political side of the Justice Department.
Good point.
Bob Mueller, James Comey, Chris Wray. If you don't want politics in the FBI, don't put people at the top of it whose background comes from politics.
That's right. Yeah, go. Why not search in the FBI for your leadership in the hierarchy, right?
A lot of talented people in that.
A lot of talented folks. Look, and that these are guys, women and men, that know their job very well. And the regular FBI, there's a lot of great people there.
It's true.
This leadership, it's terrible. It's terrible, and it sets a black eye in all of America because they don't know what to do. They don't know if they can trust law enforcement. And then you look even down to the regular. I talked to an officer yesterday, just a normal officer, Prince George's County here in Maryland. And he said, it's really hard for us now because nobody trusts us. No matter what we do, we're wrong. If we have to shoot somebody, we're in the wrong. It's like, but here's the question. And I pose this question to all Americans. Anybody out there that says they hate law enforcement has a problem. Here's my question to you. Where did we become a country where resisting arrest and fighting with police officers is okay?
Yeah, that's right.
That's not American. We don't do that here, okay? And I guarantee you, a lot of these people that get shot, if they would just obey, just obey the orders, then they'd go home at night.
We lost a lot of respect. Listen, the police shooting problem is a two-sided problem, and we only talk about one side of it, but citizenry has an obligation too, and a lot of these are avoidable shootings if people just comply with police. I grew up in a police home. My father was in law enforcement 46 years. My brother was in for 29. They have seen the erosion of public respect, and that ends up creating a tinder fire every day that's ready to be lit up. It's very simple to roll this back in, but community leaders have to start. They have to set the tone. Hey, work with our police. They want to work with you. We get back to that, we solve a lot of problems.
Absolutely. Folks, as you know, this is the show where we put God, family, and country first. We will always tell you the truth. The great John Solomon, we're thrilled to have him, honored to have him. Thank you again, John.
Great honor to be with you.
Thanks for the update, too.
Good luck on your show. I love it.
God bless you, brother.
You too, sir.
You guys, we do have the MyPillow 2.0 or 2.0, MyPillow 2.0, the best pillow in 20 years. We've improved on the best sleep ever, and use that promo code Indivisible.
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 Yes, sir.
And if you use that, it's a buy one, get one free.